name's Ludwig Lolbert. I'm also known as Zai, and I play offlane for Team Secret. Team Secret is a team that consists of international players. We have 2 Swedes, me and S4, 1 Estonian, Puppy, 1 German, Kroki, and 1 Canadian player, Artur. And we also have a coach who's Canadian, and then our manager is Brookman. I got into Dota 1 back in the day when my brother started playing. He introduced me to the game. And then eventually when Han came out, which was like inspired off Dota, I started playing Han and became a competitive player for Han. And then eventually I left Han for Dota 2 some years in. And I played on AG first, which was my big major team, and then later on moved on to Team Secret. No, I've been to a couple. I think my biggest one was TI4, which I played with AG, and we finished 3rd place. I think if you play games like League of Legends or Heroes of the Storm or Smite, I think to be able to get into Dota, I think you need to look at the whole aspect of the game, because I think the game is much more complicated and complex than the other games. So if that's anything that appeals to you, that's pretty much it. I played a lot of Street Fighter. I'm not that good, but I enjoyed the game. My family's always been supportive of me. I started playing competitively when I was like 14, when I was playing Han, and ever since my family's been nothing but supportive. So. We definitely feel like we're one of the top contenders here. So I would assume that we're, seeing ourselves placed in the at least top 2. I would say 1st place, but it might be a bit too cocky.
My name is Clement Ivanov, my nickname is Puppy, and I play for Team Secret. We are a fairly international team. We have 2 Germans, 2 Canadians, 2 Swedes, 1 German, 2 Canadians, and an Estonian. So we pretty much come from all different departments, and we all speak English together. It took a variety of time to actually get into Dota maybe, but I was very involved in being interested in pretty much Warcraft 3, Warcraft, overall Warcraft 2, I played that game also, but StarCraft, the competitive scene of Counter-Strike and all that shebangs, and pretty much I ended up liking Dota 2, Dota 1 the most, and then Dota 2 came out, and pretty much now I'm there. In Dota 2? Well, a lot. I mean, I would guess that like 80% of the tournaments, so at the top of my head, I guess 40 tournaments already or something like that. It's pretty much interesting, but I've already seen it happening in the StarCraft industry, and I'm pretty okay with seeing this happen. And it's fairly interesting, and we're gonna just see how it goes out, because right now I haven't seen really in action because the tournament has just started. Yeah, of course. I like Counter-Strike, I like StarCraft, and maybe some games a little bit somewhere, but most likely Counter-Strike and StarCraft if I would have to choose. When it all started out, it wasn't really that popular, so it was of course tough to explain why you are doing this in the first place. But once that popularity and revenue actually started happening, and you can actually earn real money out of it, you kind of convinced that quite easily already that it's a profession that is definitely taking a serious margin up.
I am Chuan from Team IG.
我的队伍是在2011年组建的吧，然后我在这个队伍是算是从一开始组建就到现在了，然后 也拿过不少好的成绩，然后我希望可以继续拿下去。
My team formed in about 2011, and I am considered probably the first ones on the team. And my team has won many championships before.
太多了，就是世界上所有的 Dota 比赛，只要稍微出名一点的，我们都会参加。
Oh, way too many. As long as it's a well-known tournament, we've been to everywhere around the world.
就是如果看过我故事的人都知道，就是我是打篮球受伤，然后在家里休养的时候，因为太无聊，然后朋友带我打 Dota，然后就开始爱上这款游戏。
If anyone has seen my story, they would know. Basically, I was hurt in basketball, and while I was resting at home, my friend introduced me to the game, and I fell in love with it.
这个才是感觉非常好吧，因为会让人充满激情跟比较刺激，因为你永远不知道你下一个对手是谁，然后你随时都会被人家喊上台挑战。
This tournament format is really good because it makes you excited and anxious because you will never know when you will play.
这个每年都会这样吧，因为他每年都会在 TA 之前更新版本，然后碰巧这次锐步之前就更新了，然后就是我们还没完全适应版本吧，然后就是以赛代练。
It happens every year where they have a new patch before TI, and it's just a coincidence that it happened right before Red Bull's tournament. We're not really adjusted to the current patch yet, so we're using the tournament as our practice.
刚开始肯定是不支持的，因为传统行业里面完全没有电子竞技这一项。然后以前的电子竞技让别人觉得就是坏孩子才会玩的东西，然后现在的话，因为越来越大了，全球的比赛也越来越多，然后奖金也越来越高，然后我家人也逐渐的支持，然后到现在也是全力支持我。
Of course, at first they were really against it because back then esports is considered for bad kids only. And now that esports has grown a lot bigger and the prize pool is getting bigger, my family is starting to support me, and now they fully support me.
这一次比赛的话就有5个队，然后 MY 跟 HR 还有 Secret 都比较了解，然后就另外一个美国队我们不太了解，因为他们是刚组好的，然后我们的话还是比较有信心的吧，因为都是老对手了。
In this tournament, there are only 5 teams. Secret, Team Malaysia, and HR. We know them better. The only team is from America. Since they recently formed for us, we're quite confident about this tournament.
My name is David Parker. I work for a studio called Beyond the Summit, and I'm a professional Dota 2 commentator and event coordinator. My online gaming nickname is Gods. I began just as a gamer. I spent a long time playing Dota back in the Warcraft 3 when it was a custom mod. I played it for 5 or 6 years. The game then developed into a competitive esport, and I was a competitive gamer myself. And then from there, became involved in the kind of talent side of things. Once I stopped playing and focused more on my work, I would kind of cast games from time to time as a hobby of mine, and then gradually it became a full-time career for myself. It was kind of a decision that kind of fell upon me. Initially, it was just a hobby. It was once I kind of started making revenue through Twitch TV that it became a sustainable career. It was never any kind of clear plan of mine to make it a full-time thing. I was not exactly doing well in school. I was very lazy, a bit of a slacker, and I had no real idea what I wanted to study or pursue. So once gaming started becoming more of a possible future career because of just having a channel on Twitch and being able to successfully run events and commentate events and start getting paid to cover events back in about 2012, suddenly I could just kind of formulate a business plan to continue doing it up until today. We've got a really interesting mix of teams today. I really like how you're having one team represent each region. So with the Red Bull Battlegrounds format, you've got a team from Southeast Asia, from China, from the CIS region, from Europe as well as America. So it makes the group of players here a really diverse bunch. It also means there's maybe a bit of a kind of diversity in skill levels to some extent, because some regions are stronger than others. Even when you have the best team from one region, you've got a team from China as well as Europe, in this case Secret as well as IG, who are playing in the toughest region and are also coming to this event as favorites. But it creates a really nice storyline when you have these kind of dark horse teams from CIS and Hellraisers, from America and Summer's Rift, who can really kind of be underdogs in the event and kind of cause those upsets to happen. I really like it. I think it's something very different and unique, and kind of adds to the rivalries and the storyline where you've got teams kind of challenging each other. As mentioned, you've got these underdog teams, and if they're just playing against the favorites in a bracket, they either win or they lose. But when they're the ones being challenged, you're being called out by these teams, and then they're kind of saying to your face, like, we're going to beat you, you're a weaker team than us. So when you have those upsets created, it just creates that really interesting, engaging story for viewers to follow. And from that point of view, I think viewers are really engaged in this format, because it's something new and unique for them. It's something different. It's something really refreshing, and yeah, just completely new for Dota 2. It's making it difficult for all the teams to adapt. So I think that's actually even the playing field a lot for maybe some of the underdog teams coming in, because there's this new patch where the teams haven't had enough time to figure out what's going to be the best strategies, what's going to be the best heroes to pick. So from that point of view, if you're maybe one of these dark horse teams, you can potentially theory craft a new strategy or lineup that you think is going to be really strong, and if it works, suddenly you're upsetting one of the favorites and maybe making your way to the finals. With only 2 teams going to the final, that's really what these teams are competing over, and I think the new patch is going to make a lot of the teams maybe a bit worried about getting upset by some of these underdogs. And on top of that, I think it just also makes the event a lot more fun, because for the viewers side of things, you don't know what's actually going to be coming out, what are going to be the top picks. I think it's a learning experience for viewers, for teams, for commentators, for everyone. Nobody knows yet. Nobody's figured out the new patch yet. Yeah, I think especially when you have companies and brands like Red Bull involved in esports, and at the moment specifically Dota 2 with the Red Bull Battlegrounds, that's going to bring a lot more attention to esports with mainstream media, and just in general get other brands interested in working in competitive gaming. So I think Dota 2 right now is going to continue to grow. There's more and more players getting involved. The game publisher and designer Valve have recently announced the next international in Seattle, which his prize pool is already looking like it's going to surpass 2014's international, which got up to $10 million. So I imagine 2015 we'll see something maybe even up near $15 million. So from that point of view, you have prize pools like that. This is no longer going to be looked at by your mainstream media as just like gamers who are just playing for fun and just wasting their time away. They're going to be looked at as professional, full-time, competitive esports athletes who put all their time and research into perfecting their craft. They're training, they're playing in a team environment, they're really doing everything they can to maximize their chance of winning, much like the way training will work for professional sports, because this is not just a game to them, this is their career. I think IG and Secret come in as the clear 2 favorites, and it's hard to predict either of the other 3 teams making it to the finals over them. I think if one of them does, I would go out and say maybe Hellraisers, yet they're playing with a stand-in, but they have just a very unpredictable, aggressive way of playing. So I think they may be the team who could cause some upsets against either IG or Secret, especially maybe Secret, who have shown at times they can be a bit slow to adapt, even with one of the best drafters out there. I think over the past few months, their results have been a bit disappointing considering the expectations and the hype around this team. So I could see potentially Secret as maybe falling flat and not making it to the finals.